Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for all you've given to me, for all the blessings that I cannot see. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. With a grateful heart, with a song of praise, with an outstretched arm, I bless your name. Thank you, Lord. I just want to thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I just want to thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for all you've done in my life. You took my darkness and gave me your light. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. With a grateful heart, with a song of praise, with an outstretched arm, I'll bless your name. Thank you, Lord. I just want to thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I just want to thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Good morning, respected intellectuals, esteemed guests, teachers, and students. The Department of English, Scott Christian College Autonomous, accords a warm and cordial welcome to the Golden Jubilee celebration. Scott Christian College, a premier institution of higher education, traces its origin from the seminary started in 1809 by the Reverend Ringle Tobey at Mailadi in South Travancore. The seminary evolved as a junior college affiliated to Madras University in 1893. Though English language was taught since the inception of the college, BA English Literature and MA English Literature programs were started in 1971. At present, the Department of English offers BA, MA, pre-doctoral and doctoral programs. The academic year 2021-22 being the Golden Jubilee year of launching English literature programs, the campus community intends to organize a year-long program including conferences, webinars, meet the author, national level literary competitions, and an alumni meets. As part of the Scott Christian College tradition, we just had the prayer song. I thank the students. I request the students to sing the state song of Tamil Nadu, Tamil Thai Valthu.
கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்த கிணிலொழுகும் சீராரும் வதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டத்தில் கணமும் அதிசிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு விதை முதலும் ஹரிகரனும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழகங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே.
Thank you, dear students. Hospitality is one of the May I now request our head of the department, Dr. J.G. Duresh, who is an exemplary teacher with a long history promoting education, to welcome the gathering.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed dignitaries, learned professors, dear scholars and students. Rousing welcome to the inauguration of the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the Department of English, Scott Christian College. 50 years of glorious journey towards excellence. A landmark in the marvelous history of Scott Christian College. Hats off to the great minds who shaped and molded the destiny of a generation of students and have left a legacy of diligence, commitment, and sacrifice. At this happy moment, I'm much pleased to extend hearty welcome to all. We are greatly privileged to have Dr. Shashi Tharoor, a great Indian parliamentarian and a leading novelist, who has graciously consented to inaugurate the celebrations. On behalf of Scott Christian College, I extend a glad hand to Dr. Shashi Tharoor. We are extremely happy to have Dr. Irene Dora Kavadia, a well-renowned author, translator, and humanitarian from Greece. She's a very good friend of mine, a very friend of the college, a noble person. I express our sincere gratitude and accord a warm welcome to her. Advocate D.S. Gladstone, the correspondent of Scottish College, is with us in this program. He's a man of honesty and sincerity, and he strives for the development of the college. I bid a cordial welcome to him. It is my duty to welcome our beloved principal, Dr. J.R.V. Edward. Though he is from the discipline of mathematics, he himself is an author, a writer, and a voracious reader. I express a glad welcome to him. Professor M. Sebastian, former HOD of our department, has agreed to offer felicitations. He's a legendary teacher, loved and respected by all. I express our cordial salutation to Professor M. Sebastian. I express my immense gratitude to Advocate Alfred, Advocate Sagdidaran of Thiruvananthapuram, and Dr. Janada Kumari of Ayyappa College, Singangadai, for their help in arranging this program, and extend a warm welcome to them. Many professors of our department, retired professors of our department, professors from other colleges, from universities, have joined this program. I extend a genial welcome to them. And also express my cheerful welcome to all the scholars and students who are with us in this program. I welcome my colleagues in the Department of English, who are always ready to work an extra mile. I honestly wish that the Golden Jubilee celebrations will be a beneficent to the student community and with a boost to the department to its rise towards pinnacle. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words of welcome. Dr. J.R.V. Edward is an educational leader, faithful to the upliftment of the country, balanced by an innate sense of social responsibility and personal purpose. We call upon our principal to deliver the presidential address.
Good morning, friends. I am glad that the Department of English and Center for Research is conducting the inauguration of the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the department in the virtual mode. Actually, it was planned to conduct this program a few months back, but due to the situation and social context, we are unable to conduct at that time. Anyhow, better late than never. So we organized this in the in this time in the online mode. Scott Christian College, having its roots the seminary found in Mailadi has grown tremendously in various levels. The English department started in 1970s. It's one of the best departments of Scott Christian College, and it has great reputation not only among the students of Scott Christian College, but also among the student community all over our district and beyond. Whenever I attend some programs in other institutions in cities like Chennai or even in Delhi, occasionally I could find an alumnus of Scott Christian College, and many of them happen to be students of the Department of English. And those students have great reputation on the teachers of the Department of English. Even now, many institutions contact me to depute some resource persons for their teachers, for giving talks to their teachers, especially from the Department of English. Such a reputed department is the Department of English, and it took lead role in many ways, not only leading the institution, but also in leading many committees in various capacities. So I think it is a great achievement, and its mission of spreading the awareness on the global language is worth mentioning. It has spread the awareness through not only to the people among our district, but also to through the university area. And today, the Golden Jubilee celebrations are being inaugurated, and we are having two great personalities as chief guests. One is Dr. Shashi Tharoor, a member of the parliament and a great writer and a Sahitya Academy Award winner. In fact, I could find the mathematical mind in him, the logic he places when there are crucial situations and crucial issues arise, involves a mathematical mind, and his writings and his logic are very much important and very much useful for opening the minds of many people. Also, we are having Professor Irene Daura Kavadia, also a great writer, also as one of the chief guests. And I hope the celebrations will continue, will last for one complete year, and the Department of English is going to organize much interesting programs to commemorate the Golden Jubilee year. I express my sincere thanks to all the faculty members of the Department of English, and especially the HOD, Dr. J.G. Duresh, for taking much initiative and efforts to organize these events in a successful manner. Also, I thank our correspondent, Advocate D.S. Gladson, for extending his full cooperation in making these events a successful one. Once again, I express my sincere thanks to each and every one of the organizers as well as the participants. I wish the program a great success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are really fortunate to have your guidance and support. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, and become more, you are a leader, opines John Quincy Adams. We feel honored to have with us Honorable Shri Shashi Tharoor, an Indian former international diplomat, politician, writer, and public intellectual who has been serving as a member of Parliament, Lok Sabha, from Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala since 2009. He was also formerly Under Secretary General of the United Nations. Sir has made us proud by his distinguished work in numerous capacities and also as an author par excellence. He is a man of distinct vision and a fountainhead of illuminating ideas and inspiration to all of us. Let's all listen to Sir's inaugural address. Sir.
Greetings. My name is Shashi Tharoor. I'm Member of Parliament from Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala, and I'm delighted to inaugurate this seminar organized by the Department of English of Scott Christian College, a UGC-designated autonomous institution, which has been conferred Grade A status by the NAAC. Congratulations to all of you. Let me begin by offering my warm congratulations and wishes to the students and faculty of the English department as you commence your Golden Jubilee celebrations. I am pleased to learn that the department will soon be hosting a number of national and international seminars to commemorate the special occasion, alongside lecture series, alumni get-togethers, and interaction with various distinguished authors. I'm confident that each of these events will only further shore up the already impressive credentials of the Department of English, which also has the unique distinction of being the first to offer PG and undergraduate courses in English in South Tamil Nadu. This is not altogether surprising given the long and storied history of Scott Christian College itself, which from its humble beginnings as a small seminary has, under the stewardship of the Kanyakumari Diocese of the Church of South India, risen steadily to being one of the foremost institutions of excellence in Tamil Nadu, offering world-class education, including to many from my own constituency of Thiruvananthapuram. As someone who has personally been a beneficiary of the quality of education that one receives at a missionary institution, I've studied at 2 Jesuit-run schools myself during my formative years, and I went to an Anglican college in Delhi. I have no doubt that the students at your college will be given all the tools they need as they take their steps out into the real world. And I don't mean this purely in terms of the degrees that all of you will collect and the professional opportunities that will open up to you. College, after all, is meant to be more than just a place to earn degrees. It is a space where all of you will be spending your most formative years, and the interactions you have, especially those outside the classroom, which was the case for a student like me who was very active in extracurricular activities. All of these will shape your own personal growth in a deep and nourishing way, and indeed upon in your post-college years. I hope the seminar that is beginning today will offer one such rewarding experience for all the participating students, a unique opportunity to deep dive not just into the richness of the whole literature in the English language itself, but also the intricate balance of the language, its traditions, its diverse sensibilities, its cultural richness. One always gets a pleasant feeling when one comes across groups of college students engaging with the English language as a subject, especially when it's not in the sort of rote learning or purely memorizing route that students are sadly encouraged to adopt in many of our schools and colleges. I'm not knocking the sheer joy of being able to recall a great verse of Shakespeare or any one of your favorite poets that you learned when you were reciting things by heart. But the fact is that that's not all that education is about. Understanding what's being written is far more important than memorizing it. Through seminars and other literary events being planned by the English department, It's reassuring to note that college students will be offered platforms to engage with the language in a more creative way, and in doing so, to be able not just to cherish the richness of English literature, but also to be able to engage with the language as a tool for good communications, personal enrichment, and growth. Some of you may know that I've gained a rather undeserved reputation for having a large vocabulary and for allegedly using seemingly complex words. And I often find myself fielding questions from parents on how they can help expand the vocabulary employed by their children. The answer to my own vocabulary lies in a simple yet powerful English word, and let me share that with the students of Scott Christian College. The simple key to expand your vocabulary and to be able to digest a larger volume of material in the English language is to read. That's the magic word, read. The more you read, the larger will be your vocabulary, and the more nuanced will be your appreciation of the context in which words you learn are actually used to good effect. I've always been a huge advocate of reading, and I must say that it worries me today that reading for our youth is no longer associated with pleasure. Instead, reading seems to be linked only with textbooks and studying and homework, that it's lost in the drudgery of day-to-day college affairs. So when it comes to pleasure, it seems students would much rather naturally spend time watching Netflix or hanging out with their peers, or indeed with their mobile phones. Now, while this is understandable, it's not enough. It's not really enough. It's still time to bring back the joy of reading into your lives, as long as you are able to recognize that books are not just a source of instruction, but also escape and of entertainment, as well as education. And so growing up, as I did in India, in urban India in the late 50s, early 60s, mid 60s, when the other distractions are not there, my generation was perhaps the last generation that could read without having TV to worry about. There was no television in the Bombay of my boyhood. Nintendo was not even a gleam in an inventor's eye. Computers, laptops, mobile phones didn't exist. Say if your siblings were, as in my case, 4 and 6 years younger and worse female, there was only one thing to do when you weren't with friends, and that was to read. And I read copiously, rapidly, and indiscriminately. Chronic asthma often confined me to bed, but I found so much pleasure in the books piled up by my bedside that I stopped resenting my illness. These are the very same emotions that as parents, educators, and mentors, I hope you can all recreate for your own students. We owe it to them to make reading fun again, especially for students who don't perhaps have the opportunity or the inclination to do so because they have chosen subjects not in the humanities, where reading is a critical component for scholastic excellence, but in the sciences, where the book is merely a tool to a different result. For them, perhaps we can start with baby steps, with illustrated books, comics, for instance, that deal with interesting themes, alluring to look at, stimulating to the thought. And then by stimulating the curiosity that's inherently present in our youth, we must, of course, stimulate that curiosity. Then we will be able to pave the path for them to begin their own adventure of reading. I've often said that, to me, coming from Kerala, I find that books are like the toddy tapper's hatchet. They cut through the rough husk that enshrouds our minds to tap into the exhilaration that ferments within. That is the way forward. It's my hope that through seminars such as the one being organized by the Department of English, the participating students will be offered new avenues through which they can once again absorb themselves in the joys of the English language and unlock the many treasures of its literature that the language has in store for them. With these words, let me congratulate the organizers and the participating students and declare this seminar formally inaugurated. Congratulations to all of you. Have a great seminar. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for inaugurating the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the department and for the inspiring inaugural address with special emphasis on the joy of reading. Dr. Advocate D.S. Gladson, our correspondent secretary, his words mean a lot to us, for they carry a lot of wisdom and vision. I now request our correspondent secretary, Advocate D.S. Gladson, to accord his words of felicitation.
Good morning to all of you. Honorable Sri Sasidharur MD, respected Professor Irene Dow Kavadia, dear Principal, Dr. GRD Edward, Dr. JG Dolesh, HOD of English, land professors and students, warm greetings from Scott Christian College. There are special moments and occasion in life that bring people together. Today is one such day when we remember our glorious past and the good things that came along with it. Established in the year 1971-72, the Department of English has traversed a glorious journey studded with numerous and wonderful achievements. I congratulate to those who have contributed to the growth and glory of the department over the years. Their commitment and untiring efforts has enabled the department to attain the reputed position. I hope the Golden Jubilee celebrations would elevate the hopes and spirit of teachers and inspire them to strive for excellence. Even though our past is marvelous and our achievements are decorated with precious stones, I still believe that the best is yet to come. Let tomorrow dawn with better hopes and better dreams. I congratulate the principal, the HOD, the staff and students of the Department of English on this jubilant occasion. I wish the Golden Jubilee celebrations will further take the departments to together heights. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your supportive words and appreciation. I take immense pleasure in requesting our former head of the department, Professor M. Sebastian, a sculptor of determination and self-confidence who incessantly chisels only the excellence of the individuals, to offer his words of felicitation.
Friends, my memory of the Department of English goes back to the early 1960s, when I had the privilege of being a student of this great college. I had teachers, master teachers, who could enthrall, inspire, and hold all their students captive. To those iconic professors, teaching was not just a job, but it was a mission, a divine calling. These professors could establish the reputation of the college as one of the greatest in the state. The college had to wait for 78 long years for the introduction of BA and MA English literature. We had teachers who had high competence and deep commitment. And these teachers, like my own teachers, could easily inspire the students. Yet, what happened was, not many co-curricular activities took place. Despite that fact, the English department could take pride in having produced several legal experts, including the present additional Advocate General of Tamil Nadu. It could produce Inspector of Customs. It could produce educators such as principals and professors. But as I told you, this department was almost in a state of torpor as regards the co-curricular activities were concerned. The department had to wait for long 20 years to have some kind of program. And with a change pruner at the helm of the department launched several trailblazing programs, some of which are the following. Scott Nivell, a 2-day intercollegiate literary festival for BA and MA students of the university area. Scott Springs, a wholesome personality development club, which aimed at the integrated personality development of students, making them secular-minded, rising above caste, creed, community, etc. And we had Spotlight, a research journal. We had Scott Times, a quarterly magazine edited by the students, especially the secretaries of the different majors of the college. We had English Literature Society. This Literature Society is a union of the past professors and past students of literature and the present teachers and students of English literature. And we had Scott Debating Society, which aimed at honing the debating skills and make these students conquer stage fright and become experts in public speaking. And we had Scott Video Library to help the students understand the text taught in the class. And we had Scott Language Lab, maybe the first college in this area, because university department alone had a language lab those days. We had regular annual tours, long as well as short, knowing fully well that tours form an essential, indispensable part of learning and teaching. We had Scott Leo Club that helped them cultivate skills of great leaders, etc. We had all such programs, and whenever we arranged these tours, the tours were not limited to the students and teachers of the Department of English, but they were open to students of all the majors and teachers of all the majors. That was something unique in the annals of the Department of English. And then we had the next phase of the department in 2001, I believe, when this department became a full-fledged research center. All the teachers in the department have the highest university degree, and from that time onwards, they have immersed themselves in various activities connected with the research. serving as research guides, translators, editors of books, publishers of several research articles, etc. And naturally, this department continues to have the same kind of reputation as it used to have. Another important thing, a very laudable thing, but it is the most invisible activity on the part of the Department of English. That is, there has been a tradition in the Department of English to come to the succor of the economically backward students. And I know quite a number of teachers have always come forward to help such students, making them, creating them paths of success for all such students. And I'm sure this inauguration will be followed by a number of activities, seminars and other activities throughout the year. And the head of the department, Dr. Durish, and his colleagues will see that all these programs are conducted within that space of 1 year. And let me tell my young teachers of the department, remember, you're all engaged in not just work, but in the ministry of teaching. Remember, this job, this profession is sacred. And the place where you work, Scott Christian College, is also a sacred place to work in. And to me, as I used to tell you and others, that Scott Christian College is an earthly Eden, an earthly paradise that gives a lot of freedom for introducing innovative schemes, programs, or such trailblazing programs. May this department continue to grow, flourish, and come out with real academic fruits in the years to come. I congratulate Dr. Durish and his efficient colleagues, and I wish them all success. Let me say bravo to Dr. Durish and his colleagues. Thank you.
Sir, you made us relive the glorious past and the activities of the department. Thank you for the felicitation. When you know better, you do better, says Maya Angelou. I call upon Professor Irene Dora Cavadia, a tutor of foreign languages, a translator, and research associate in law firms, a member of the UNESCO Arts, Letters and Sciences, Greece, a member of the World Philosophical Forum, Greece, and a great literary artist to deliver the special address. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Good morning to all esteemed participants. I am Professor Indira Cavadia, and I extend you all warm greetings from a very cold Athens in Greece. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Wonderful. I'm so glad and honored to be among you in the light of this wonderful occasion of the inauguration of the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the English Department of renowned Scott Christian College, Autonomous. It is such a joyous event when a school celebrates, and all the more when it expands its activities. What wonderful work you have been doing all these years in an effort to educate the young generations, providing them with all the necessary qualifications for a better future, yet also shaping their tender personalities by means of significant qualities and humanitarian values. I extend you my heartiest congratulations for going the extra mile and all my best wishes for prosperous and equally successful years to come. I wish to thank Principal Dr. J.R.V. Edwards and personally the head of the department, Dr. J.G. Duresh, for this kind invitation to me to share the happiness of this special day with all of you. In my speech today, I shall make reference to the cultivation and benefits of literature in the educational field towards inspiring the new generation, as well as the significance of research in any domain towards the path to a successful career. I learned to love reading. Nowadays, more and more emphasis is placed on the fact that young people deserve to participate in a wider, ideally a holistic education, and not just be taught and trained on how to become specialists in a certain domain. Due to the social and multiple challenges posed by globalization in general, they must broaden their horizons to as many fields of knowledge as possible in order to acquire a wider scope of perception and later be able to form their own view on multiple issues and potential problems. To be able to perform those cognitive processes required to lead to the solution, to educate, to train the mind, and to complete themselves holistically as personalities. The goal, of course, is to acquire knowledge necessary for the career they pursue, but also for their life in general as members of the society in the global community. The commonest way of communication of knowledge is, of course, through the tutor and or through the book, whether this is a textbook or a literary book. The noticeable difference between these two genres, apart from the obvious, is that the literary book, which we will be dealing with today, addresses not only the cognitive level, but mainly the soul of the reader. The book, the ultimate tool for conveying information and knowledge from the author to the reader, could be characterized as a beacon of light, a guide, a forerunner, a teacher. The literary book in particular, from a simple means of transmitting knowledge, however, in the hands of the reader is transformed into something greater, even more essential, as it becomes a true companion and a mate. What a wonderful speech I heard before. It is exactly this thing that we also advocate. The special relationship that develops from the unique approach of the author and the reader through the book is therefore worth mentioning, since it is a highly dialectical relationship. Although there is no physical presence or a face-to-face interpersonal relationship, there is a distinct deviation from the classical communication between two living beings in the same environment and communicating with each other through a common perceptual language system, i.e. a common code of communication. Many think that reading is a passive activity, as one writes and after a while someone else reads what the former has written. However, there is an essential dialectical relationship which stems from the fact that the author, even absent, is ever present through their work, through the pages of their book, through their words, the treasure that comes straight from the soul. The author speaks, even at a different time from the point of view of the reader, in the common code that is the natural language, although not orally, but in writing. The clear dialectical relationship between the reader and the book as a form of communication naturally starts from the well-known communication model of the receiver and the transmitter, as described in the science of linguistics. However, the special interaction between the author and the reader goes far beyond this famous theoretical model. According to the widespread perception, the reader is considered to be only a passive recipient of the events, as they are played out in the pages of a book. So in theory, the reader is incapable of acting in any way upon the words of the text they read. Therefore, their only role is to decode the messages transmitted by the author, to understand them, to analyze, and feel their impact on their current psychosynthesis. But this is quite untrue, as the reader also has the ability to act at will, possessing the necessary judgment to move on to further reading, to pause, or even to stop it altogether if something they read did not excite them or perhaps upset them. They may as well wish to go to previous pages, to taste again and again some words or verses that arouse their interest or move them, to experience with every cell of their being the events of its story, to be repeatedly introduced to the lives of the heroes and be moved, become happy, or even angry, depending on the choices. Involvement, embrace, redemption, or rejection, on the other hand, cannot be accomplished without interaction. That leads us to the conclusion that the reader, with a supposedly lifeless book in his hands and the passive attitude towards it, has developed beyond any doubt the absolutely interactive relationship with the book, in which the author's voice echoes despite the time or space in between them. A special relationship develops between the writer and the reader, which is characteristic of all its manifestations with that of the physical communication of people, and which essentially turns the reader into the absolute master of the activity called reading. In fact, the reader, when they read, they are readers of themselves, writes Marcel Proust. The integration of literature in education. It is common knowledge that through reading, the student is given food for thought, shaping their tender world forever. This food for thought may, in a later stage, be used in the educational process for analysis in order for students to draw their conclusions, either in the form of homework or in the classroom under the guidance of the teacher. In this way, students can participate more actively in the process of reading, understanding, analyzing, and synthesizing. They themselves become part of the stories they have read, identify themselves with the heroes, rejoice in their actions, or sympathize with their sufferings. In the end, of course, always comes purification, which redeems and liberates. The benefits of literature are manifold, starting with the selection of the book, the decoding of the cover and the back cover, browsing through the blurb, we move on to the actual reading part, in the magic of its story, in the embrace of the heroes and their actions. This includes the recognition of concepts, messages, ideas, obvious and hidden meanings. That is what the English refer to by saying, read between the lines, and we Greeks by the phrase, read behind the words. These sayings are not coincidental. It is extremely important that the reader can identify the hidden behind the presented, getting down to the real meaning, to the truth. Slowly comes the acquaintance with the world of the book, the words, the aesthetics, the culture. According to Michel Tournay, a book always has two authors, the one who writes it and the one who reads it. The reader, therefore, is the co-creator of the work. I'm sorry, there must have been a temporary problem. And for the writer, I continue, there is nothing more beautiful and moving than inspiring the new generation. Now we go into research. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. This is a famous quote by Confucius. Let us begin elaborating on the nature of research by defining the term. Research means to carefully analyze the problems or to do the detailed study of the specific problems by making use of special scientific methods. And now the question might be, so when we only do research in the field of science, in the fields of mathematics, physics, IT, or medicine, it is indeed true, people have connected the term research with these domains. Still, research can be performed in all technical as well as theoretical fields and domains with great success and respective benefits as it paves the way and opens new avenues to mankind. Besides that, it plays an important role in discovering new approaches and implementing methods, all the more making sure that the best possible ways are used for the most appropriate solutions to be found. Why do research? Research its need and value has always been with us for millennia. It is, as a matter of fact, the perennial need of man to seek and find, to explore, to dig into the mysteries of the universe that surrounds us and into the wonders of life itself. It is common knowledge that man, since the beginning of time, has always been restless, wishing to experiment and do all kinds of tests, even with their non-existent primitive technology, based mostly on their perception via the senses, their never-ending inspiration, and the insight of the special few, mostly by means of trial and error, which, combined with persistence, dedication, and perseverance, led to success. I don't believe I have special talents. I have persistence. After the first failure, second and third, I kept trying. Carlo Rubbia, Nobel Prize-winning physicist. Let us keep that motto in mind. It is the absolute and sole key to success. For research to be carried out properly, in order to produce the best possible results, certain steps have to be taken. First and foremost, careful and meticulous observation by constant use of sophisticated equipment, along with the registering of the respective data results. That has to be combined with continuous background research and cross-reference of findings with those of previous or other given theories and research data already noted. Next comes a preparation of a hypothesis, which will be put to a test, and eventually the actual conduct of the experiment. Ever tried? Ever failed? No matter, try again, fail better. Samuel Beckett. Thomas Edison's teachers, similar to those of Albert Einstein, said he was too stupid to learn anything. He was fired from his first 2 jobs for being non-productive. As an inventor, Edison made 1,000 unsuccessful attempts at inventing the light bulb. When a reporter asked, how did it feel to fail 1,000 times? Edison replied, I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. Can we imagine this man's perseverance and absolute dedication? 1,000 times of stumbling upon a problem, falling flat upon his face and then rising up again for another effort until reaching success? An incredible example to follow. In the domain of education, research is absolutely essential, both for the tutors as well as for the students. It can be used in order to help find solutions to particular problems that have arisen or even might arise in the classroom or at school, thus healing or even preventing unwanted and uncalled for potential disruptions in the educational process. Educational research further seeks answers to questions on learner motivation, development, and classroom management. Especially nowadays, I'm talking mostly about Europe, with dyslexia and other forms of learning difficulties in the framework of autism on the rise, research into the causes and effects seems really meaningful, with the aim to producing beneficial solutions for the learners. As these kinds of behavior are considered a common phenomenon, I'm also referring to bullying, especially in my area, a tutor might be compelled to research into the specific cases in order to be ready in case an issue arises, with a view to preventing and or healing it. As far as my personal experience is concerned in the field of research, I could summarize it in 3 different axes. The first one had to do with research in the field of linguistics, and more specifically contrastive linguistics, as I held a research in the issue of overcoming L1, namely overcoming the unavoidable innate influence of mother tongue during the process of learning a foreign language. While I conducted the experiments with my students at the Language Academy, in the process of teaching them English, German, French, and Spanish, while they are Greek natives, I came to a plethora of useful conclusions that helped me, first of all, compile my dissertation in contrastive linguistics. The findings also proved essential to me as an educator, as they give me to understand the problems that my students are confronted with while learning and try to assist them in this process in any possible way. For instance, I will give you an example. The French tend to say the book, the Germans de book or de Buch, as the most characteristic examples of the interference of mother language. Another point that proved really exciting for me was the field of comparative literature in the philosophy faculty that I studied in the Department of Germanistic Studies, where we use literary texts from different authors written in different languages, but on the same topic. For instance, the myth of Antigone, the original drama written by Sophocles, was to be compared with the Antigone by Brecht, the German author, and the respective one by the French Jean Anouilh. It was indeed wonderful to indulge into the different approaches to the same myth by different authors of different background and mentality, and of course, throughout the centuries, and to find similarities and antitheses that proved really eye-opening. Last but not least, I would like to mention the scientific research in which I have been involved in the Master of Science degree while studying computational linguistics. This has really broadened my horizons because we try to actually implement a code that could produce a kind of interaction between our language and the computer language. Really, research is always hard work, but it is totally worth it. My involvement in the field did wonders within me and inspired me to write science fiction books, one of which has already been published as an interactive futuristic tale called Destiny Zone, where the zone is a parallel universe. Taking everything into consideration, we can safely maintain the view that research is highly important for any field of study, whether it is philosophy or literature, and of course it is of paramount importance in technical studies, as this is the only way that a scientist can, or a scholar, really elaborate into this particular field and become a master in it. I hereby thank you wholeheartedly for the wonderful opportunity of being among you on this special day of the inauguration of the Golden Jubilee celebrations, wishing you the very best for the English department, as well as for the entire Scott Christian College. I'm certain that the new endeavor will be met with great success, providing you students with the absolute necessary theoretical knowledge and practical skills that it will bring also more fame and acknowledgement to the college. Thanking again the principal, Dr. J.R.V. Edward, and the head of the department, Dr. J.G. Duresh, for the kind invitation. I extend you all my best wishes representing my country, Greece, looking forward to more associations in the future. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for emphasizing on the key points, reading and research. That was indeed motivating and extremely informative, and indeed the need of the day. Gratitude is the attitude which gives fortitude. May I now call upon Dr. A. Linda Primlin, an eminent personality in the field of language and linguistics, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everybody. Honorable Member of Parliament, Sashi Tharoor, respected Speaker and Writer, Professor Irene Dora, respected Correspondent Secretary of Scott Christian College, Advocate Gladstone, respected Principal of Scott Christian College, Dr. J.R.V. Edward, respected Professor Sebastian, the members of the department, our most valued invited guests, teachers, scholars, and students. I thank God Almighty for being with us throughout these years and in making us to celebrate the Golden Jubilee of the department. This day will be remembered as a milestone in the history of Scott Christian College. Let me first of all thank our esteemed guests of honor, Honorable Member of Parliament Dr. Shashi Tharoor and respected Professor Irene Dora. We are extremely proud and honored to have you virtually on this inaugural function. Thank you for gracing the function and sharing with this august audience your vision of education. We are grateful to our correspondent secretary, Advocate Gladstone, for his support and encouragement. My heartfelt thanks to our principal, Dr. J.R.V. Edward, for his able guidance, which always encourages us. My special thanks to Professor Sebastian, who is representing the past teaching fraternity of the department. It's time to acknowledge the contribution of those who supported and worked really hard to make this occasion success. Our deep sense of appreciation and thanks to our well-wishers, Advocate Alfred, Advocate Saktidharan of Trivandrum, Dr. Janada Kumari of Sri Ayyappa College for Women, for their efforts in arranging the function. My heartfelt thanks to all the distinguished invitees, teachers from various colleges, scholars and students present here in accepting our invitation. I owe special gratitude to the head of the department and all my dear colleagues for their valuable contribution. Once again, I thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the warm words of gratitude. Dear academicians, readers, and scholars, we request your participation, presence, and active interaction in all the programs and activities connected to the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the department in the forthcoming days. We in SCOT have freedom in mind, faith in words, pride in our hearts, and memories in our soul. With this, we take leave saying, Scott, we love you and are proud to be Scotians. Thank you, one and all. Thank you. Jai Hind.